It's May 5th. Despite David's public pronouncement we read yesterday that God had chosen Solomon to succeed him as king, Adonijah, David's second son, and Absalom's younger brother, who was next in line to succeed his father, made a power play for the throne. The support of both General Joab and Abiathar, one of the two priests, legitimized this effort and rendered Adonijah's attempt to become king quite serious. Bathsheba's plea is motivated by self-preservation because under a king Adonijah, both she and Solomon would likely be killed after David's death. But her action is not only in her interests, it is in God's interests as well. And it shows us an important truth. Sometimes God wants us to fight for His will to be done. Yes, God opens doors, and yes, He wants us to trust Him to bring about His will. But at the same time, we must always keep in mind that there are forces that will attempt to thwart God's plans for our lives. Not everything that happens is God's desire for us. We have an enemy that wants to kill, steal, and destroy. And sometimes he does just that. Part of the challenge is to know when events are indeed threats to what God wants. And this is why it's important to walk closely with the Lord and use discernment. God wants us to use discernment so that we know when and how to act. Like Bathsheba, sometimes we need to move quickly and decisively to protect what we know God is calling us to do or to be. There will be times when God's will for our lives will be threatened. And when that occurs, we must strategically and diligently work to defend it and fight offensively for it if needed. Today's reading is a reminder not to neglect our calling and our relationship with God. It's a reminder not to treat them casually, but instead be diligent and use discernment so that when needed, we can move quickly and decisively so that God's will is done in our lives. Here's today's application. If you've been neglectful of your relationship with God, realize that this is one of your enemy's key strategies. Don't be casual about your prayer life or about your time in the Word. Be diligent to discern the threats that are poised to come against you, and be diligent to protect what God has invested into your life. Now here's today's prayer.